Thanks for another gift, Subsolace and the Bits Arrow. How the fuck did we evolve if we just turn into jelly when being chased? I don't know. It's a good point, I guess. Are you supposed to let the car fill all the way up with water? How about I just bring up the Mythbusters clip real quick? So, I believe what they wanted to test is like it should be easy to get out a car that's submerging because once the car is fully underwater, you can just open the door and get out. But that's just not the reality of how these things go. A car does something called turning turtle, which is what happens here.
Remember, when Adam goes 13 feet under, he won't be wearing breathing apparatus. The paramedics are on their toes, and Adam has his escape strategy all worked out.
Thanks to resub, Ahmed.
I'm going to try to start opening this door the moment I see the water get above my glass.
Which won't work.
Now, if the myth is true, I won't be able to open that door until the water level inside the car gets to the same point.
Yep.
Deep breaths, Adam. Deep
Damn, I remember
breaths.
this. Yeah, because this was their most dangerous stunt.
Put on the brakes.
I couldn't stop now if I wanted to.
As the water rushes in, Adam is getting that sinking feeling.
Oh, man.
The crane chains go slack, and the car is sinking on its own. The 700-pound fake engine is taking it down nose first.
For what it's worth, this was also something when I was fucking young and voice crack, young and dumb, I always got confused on how people like couldn't get out of their car in time. Because again, once the car is fully submerged and the pressure equalizes, you can just open the door and get out theoretically. But it is just not the way it plays out. And it's like the most scary and most terrifying thing in the fucking world.
Exactly as it would in a real situation.
The water's up to my butt now. All right. Okay, it's coming past my waist. Now I can start to see under the water. Oh my god, it's coming up under the windshield. Wow.
Wasn't this stunt Jamie said he was the most scared of? Yes.
A couple more breaths here.
I believe so.
Adam's never this quiet. So what's going on down there? The water is leaking in from every open crevice in the car, and Adam is now fully under. He holds his breath, tugs on the door, pushes his whole weight against it, but nothing happens. Finally, he can't hold his breath any longer and signals for Jamie to pass in the regulator. When the pressure ultimately equalizes,
Yep.
he opens the door and swims to the surface.
So it doesn't happen instantly, which is what I didn't realize either. So it takes time. The optimal thing to do is not wait for that, it's to break the window. You can't roll it down, obviously, so you have to break it. And there's a lot of ways of doing that. I think the one that got a lot of steam, and I don't know if it actually works, but if you take the headrest off of your seat, and if you jam it in between that gap where the window meets the door, and pull back, it should break the whole window, and that's when you get the fuck out. I don't know if that one actually works though, but that theory gathered a lot of steam. That one doesn't work? Oh, was that myth busted? Because I remember people used to tout that one a lot. You can't open the door until it fully equalizes, which is exactly what they showed here. So the car turned turtle, which means it went like... turning turtle is when it goes like on its shell. That's why it's called turning turtle, so it goes upside down like this. Filled the car up with water, so he had to hold his breath for way too long, more than most people could reasonably do, especially when panicking. Door won't open until it equalizes. It just takes too long. But yeah, once it does, you can. So I guess if you have incredible lung capacity, you could probably just wait it out, but usually you're supposed to break the window. Roll down the window. I mean, if you have a hand crank, like an old car, maybe you could do that. What do you think? How do you think the window rolls itself down? When you press that button, what do you think is happening? Magic. Yeah. Yeah, someone got it. It's electricity. When your car goes in the water, you know what's going to happen? You're going to lose the ability to do that. You can't just roll it down when you're in that position. It won't work. Now, I guess if you, like, slowly went into the water and immediately thought to, I guess you might have some time to roll it down a little bit. You could. Perhaps. But you'd have to, like, fucking plan for it. He's the Prime Forte and the resub Moon, Sophile, Beefy, Zray, and the Prime Rika. Use the head of your key to hit the window and it should have a super weak crack point. I don't know that one. Apparently what I mentioned was proven wrong. I had always heard, because I think it was actually because of this, the big thing was you take your headrest off of the seat, you put it in between where the window meets the door, and you push back towards yourself, you crank it, and it was supposed to break your window. But all of chat said that that was proven wrong, so it's up in the air now. You probably just need like a special tool for it. Thanks to 5 gift subs, Grapes, and the Prime Rhino. .12 volt can run underwater, essentially. Oh, you're talking about for Windows? Maybe. I still would it. I'll look it up because now I'm curious. Even if you did maintain like the ability to roll down the window, I still don't think it would open because of all the pressure of the water. But I'm curious. Let me look it up. Here, we'll just do this Weather Channel one. I'm curious.
We always tell you, you want to turn around, don't drown. We want to check out what one driver did in Northern California yesterday, heading straight into standing water like it's nothing. Then, of course, the SUV started to stall out. And just imagine if the water was a little bit deeper. You also don't know what's in that water. And being in a submerged vehicle quickly turns into a life or death situation. They obviously were not completely submerged, but if you
that
are,
is just sad, yeah. Unlucky.
Shows you how to escape.
Flooding is the leading weather-related killer, and more than half of those deaths happen in vehicles. I'm going to take this car and put it in that water and get out to show you how to get out alive in case this happens to you.
Thanks.
For safety, I'm working with Rick LaProvost, the dive master for St. Petersburg Fire Rescue. On my first attempt to get a feel for what happens when the car goes under, I'm wearing an oxygen tank and a mask.
Get real. Here we go.
Immediately turning turtle. Oh, that's some poopy ass water too, Jesus.
It would be really hard to get out. It's a frightening situation. The force of the water has me right up towards the roof, so I feel like I'm smashed. I have air, and it's frightening. I can't imagine if you just taking your last breath. So we're gonna come back up. We're ready to come back up, please.
Well, how do you escape?
Be back up.
Oh, you just have to have your car towed by an ambulance or a fire truck.
I have the
What I already forgot what the fuck I just looked at. It was an ambulance.
But I'm confident I know what to do to get out safely.
Okay.
You're going to need to try the power real quick to get that window down. And if the water's at that level, it'll come in, but it's not flooding in to where you can then use your seatbelt, unclick it or cut it.
Okay, so she couldn't get the window. Oh.
Break the window and out you go.
So once again, it's just having the tool on standby because the window wouldn't roll down.
When I hit the water, I lost control almost immediately. So it's important to know the force.
And she cut herself.
In effect, for every foot of water, a vehicle weighs 1,500 pounds less. Let's give it another go.
All right, so we're driving into the
This
water.
time, the
windows
dive master
down.
stays in the car.
I appreciate that they're
showing
actually
just how
doing it,
quickly
though.
you need to act before the car is entirely full of
All right,
water.
Seatbelt's already off. So now it's just getting out. I'm not waiting.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So it really is just breaking the window. Thanks to the resub. Potato, Imbergs, Mars, Kona, Frung, and the Prime Furlong. Just need to drive around with a pre-shattered window. True. Check the second video. How to escape a shatterproof window underwater. Oh man, that's some Final Destination shit. Let's see, how do you do it? Now I'm curious.
Hey Brainiac, nice
Thanks for
car.
resub Despair
What's
and
that?
Unicorn.
The new
Maybe some
2019
Pyro
Tesla
and
model?
Peanut.
Automatic doors, shatterproof windows, Bluetooth, and all. The car is, for the most part, intact. Bad news is, how do we say this? You and your car are slowly sinking to the bottom of a river. But no fear, we've done lots of videos on how to survive sticky situations exactly like this one. Plus, we'll tell you how to equip your car with your handgun. As for the body of the car, Tesla claims that a sledgehammer can't even dent it. Safety measures, find a way to keep the driver protected from collisions, but not indestructible in case someone had to get out of a sticky, or I guess wet, situation. Thankfully, we have plenty of tips and tricks up our sleeves, Brainiacs. Let's go through this step by step. First things first, unbuckle that seatbelt of yours. Honk the horn a few times to draw some attention so someone can call for help. Most importantly, remain calm. The more anxious you are, not only will you tire yourself out, but controlling your breaths will increase the chances of your survival. Because your modern car can't roll down your windows, you have two options to escape. The first is to escape through a door once the car is completely submerged underwater.
Oh, Mythbusters just proved how hard that is, though. As well as that Weather Channel video. She couldn't escape through that door because it took so long for the car to be fully submerged for the pressure to equalize. They ended up just backing her out. So that's what, I don't know about that one.
It's important to make note of a few things before you decide to pursue this option. Does your car have manual as well as automatic locks? Since most cars these days can be locked and unlocked by your keys and not the traditional switches, if your car loses power underwater, chances are you won't be able to unlock it with your handy keys. Unfortunately, escaping by the doors doesn't seem like a viable option for you here, Brainiac, but fear not, there are other options. We can also try to escape through windows. Looks like we can't open them because your car is down, so it looks like we'll have to break our way out. Shatterproof windows, you say? You may be right. A 2018 statistic reveals that 1 in 3
how the fuck are you gonna
vehicles
break
is equipped
that?
with laminate windows,
Bulletproof
a shatter
too?
and robbery-proof grade material. But not all 4 windows are completely shatterproof. For safety reasons, manufacturers will install 3 laminate windows just in case of emergencies. The material of the window should be indicated on either the bottom left or right corner. Just squint your eyes and see the fine print. Now puff up your chest, Brainiacs, and let's break this window. I bet you wish you
I don't know if you're gonna have
a little
time to
more
read
often than
that.
You do right about now, don't you? Lucky for you, you don't actually have to have the biggest muscles to make it out alive okay. We have a tool specifically manufactured.
Yeah, so it's literally the same thing. You just still need that window breaking tool. That seems about it. Thanks to the resub. Andre, Geet, Ringo, Tarnished in the Prime, Aspect and Despair, and the bits Mac and George. No, I haven't seen that, George. And yeah, we actually watched that. That was a banger, Mac. Kick out the front window, it's easy. If your car is submerging, the pressure from the water is going to make it impossible to do that. In that case, you could have... If we're going to play by those fantasy rules, just open the door. But it's not going to happen. The pressure is too much. Just teleport out. Yeah, just a slash unstuck. Thanks to the resub. Cheese, Shoot, and Rabbit. And the Prime McPhee. I'm curious now. God damn it. Can you actually not break the windows with the headrest? Let's see. Does this not really work?
Can you use a headrest to break out of a car?
That's what I just
Yes,
asked.
you can. It's not as easy as you may think, though. It will take you a few strikes. You don't want to hit in this area because it's just going to deflect off. You want to aim for the corners and hit as hard as you can.
Well, that's not what the... That wasn't... That was pretty fucking cool, actually. That's not what the advice was, though. It was to put it in between where the window meets that door and crank it down. So I guess you do it up here and crank it down, but maybe that just doesn't work. That would not work underwater, though. Well, that's why you're supposed to crank it down instead of, like, try and bash it.
Will a headrest break a window? I've done this so many. If it will break and then put... Alright. It's fair to assume that doesn't work, so let's try the other method.
Oh, here we go.
They say to put it in here.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to fucking wedge it in
Ready?
there. I don't...
Yeah.
Oh.
I did hear something break.
I wouldn't have expected it to go that deep.
You're dead. There want cars filling up with water, you're dead.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that shit doesn't work at all.
The shooter, you're dead.
Huh.
There's literally any time.
All I did is just bend that thing. Who's gonna...
Interesting. Well, hey. Myth busted. I'd heard that so often, too. I just accepted that as the truth. God damn. Oh yeah, spark plugs. I guess if you have like a handful of spark plugs like pocket sand, you could just throw it at the window when you start submerging and break it. Spark plugs break this shit instantly. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Today's video is sponsored.
Actually, here, how about I just do the money shot here? Oh, here we go.
People say that porcelain and spark plugs is supposed to be able to break car windows. Let's find out. First, we gotta get some porcelain. I'm gonna try this small
It's because of the
piece
ceramic.
first,
Yep.
And then I'll try.
That's what I read
this
about as
larger
well, that the
piece. Let me
ceramic is what makes it
divide
break
that
so
a little bit
quickly.
better, actually.
Or easily.
We'll try this small piece first and then that larger piece. Here we got a car window. We're gonna try the smaller piece. Nothing. Larger piece. Oh, look at that.
God,
Did
that's
work.
crazy.
People say that
I'm surprised how many people didn't know that. Actually, I'm not that surprised. It sounds unreasonable. It takes just a very small fragment to do it. Like, that larger piece is still like a very fucking tiny little pencil tip.
Should be good.
Exit tier 1, Elise. Why does that work? From what I remember reading, it's the ceramic in the spark plug, so this porcelain thing, the ceramic on it is so sharp that it can just immediately break through easily.
Oh. How'd that work?
Use the bigger one, yeah.
Oh. Got him.
Try throwing it underwater, though. I mean, yeah, it might be a little hard to do it underwater, but you don't necessarily have to throw it. You can just hit it. There's something oddly satisfying about seeing a car window break like that. How about a neutral drop? Yeah, how much pressure does it take?
I'm gonna take this little itty. Every kid should. I'm gonna. Like, you probably can't even do this with a brick. All right, everybody, you ready?
That wasn't, like, neutral.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
And here it is, look, it fell on the ground. Didn't even go through.
That's just some random dude's car.
All right, folks, little fun fact from Neutral Drop. I'm sure you hardcore
Oh,
guys
the channel's name is
already know
Neutral
about
Drop.
this.
I thought he was just gonna drop it onto a piece of glass. A neutral drop. I see. There's a tier 1 Aoa in the Prime Medding. The Bits Adonis. It matters whether the glass is laminated or not. For the spark plug method, does it? Let's look it up. Best way to break tempered glass. Oh, the slow-mo guys did this a year ago. There's a resub rover. And the resub silent. Scroll down, there's where? Fireman finger? I don't know what that means, but that sounds cool. That doesn't look like they do anything on laminate. He's a gift sub Caden. The resub brown. So many windows getting broken for YouTube. Yeah. True. Here's the Prime Edson. Are the window breaker tools just ceramic from spark plugs too? I don't know. I don't manufacture them. I don't really know what they are. I imagine it's just ceramic. It is, Andy. Oh yeah, if in case you guys haven't seen the video I posted on the second channel, if any of you still use Sony Vegas, you may have noticed that it won't open for you right now, and it hasn't been able to open for the last 3 days. There's been no word from Magix on fixing that, but it's a problem that everyone's experiencing. The only way around it is to unplug your Ethernet and then start it up. So there's the method, just in case any of you use that. He's a tier 1 life in the resub DRP. So you can reconnect after it's open? Yeah, once it's open you can connect again. You just have to start it with the Ethernet, or with no internet access. It stopped you from opening it because their licensing checks are broken. Yeah, I don't exactly know what the reason or exactly how this bug happened, but on May 2nd, every single person, at least that I've seen, couldn't open it anymore, including me. So I had to find a workaround from some people on Twitter that started hypothesizing fixes. The official response from them is to set your date back before it stopped working. I did not see that. I saw that as like a theoretical solution, but I haven't tried that myself. It's easier just to unplug the Ethernet when you start up Vegas. He's a tier 1 gelato. And the resub Rachel. And these are the resub East. I am hyped for Tears of the Kingdom.